Halloween started out perfect. The air was crisp, costumes were on point, and our bags were already heavy with candy. It was my favorite night of the year, but this time, something felt a bit off. The streets were a little too empty, the night a little too quiet. I brushed it off as a side effect of Halloween chills. Our group, me, Jake, Emma, and Sophie, decided to hit up one last house before calling it a night. Jake, who always had an eye for the spooky, pointed out a house we'd never noticed before, way down at the end of Willow Lane. It was set back from the street, with high hedges and twisted trees surrounding it. No one seemed to live there, but tonight there was a faint glow in one of the windows. A flickering orange light, like a candle or maybe an old lantern. The moment we got to the gate, we all hesitated. Something about the house gave off a heavy, tense feeling. But naturally, Jake scoffed. "Come on, guys, what's Halloween without a little fear?" He nudged the gate open, and we followed. The front yard was overgrown, with weeds tangled around broken lawn ornaments, and the steps creaked loudly underfoot. When we reached the door, there was no doorbell, just a large iron knocker shaped like a snarling wolf's head. Jake grabbed it and gave 3 loud knocks. The door opened on its own. Inside, the air was stale and thick, smelling faintly of rot and mildew. We crept in, calling out, "Trick or treat." But no one answered. The house was filled with strange decorations, old tattered curtains, dusty furniture draped in cobwebs, and paintings with dark hollow-eyed figures that seemed to watch us. A chill crept down my spine, but I convinced myself it was just a gimmick. They were trying to scare us. That's all. Then, a voice, a low, raspy whisper, came from deeper in the house. "Trick or treat." We froze. No one moved. The voice echoed again, and then a soft, scratching sound followed, like fingernails dragging across wood. "You're here for tricks or treats?" "We should go," Emma whispered, tugging on my sleeve, but Jake shook his head, his curiosity piqued. "Let's just see what it is," he said, grinning. We followed him, hearts pounding, as we made our way down a narrow hallway lit by the dim orange glow we'd seen from outside. The deeper we went, the colder the air got, and that scratching sound grew louder. At the end of the hall, there was a single wooden table with a huge old-fashioned candy bowl sitting on it. But instead of regular Halloween candy, the bowl was filled with strange, twisted objects. I picked one up. It looked like a piece of candy corn, but when I squeezed it, a thick, red liquid oozed out. I dropped it, wiping my hand on my pants, horrified. Jake laughed, nervously. "It's just a prank, guys, probably ketchup or something." Sophie, visibly pale, whispered, "I don't think we should be here." Before any of us could respond, the door at the end of the hall slammed shut. We all jumped, and Emma tried the handle, but it was locked. Panic began to settle in. Then we heard it again, the whisper. Closer this time, almost directly behind us. "One must stay for the others to leave." Jake laughed again, though his voice wavered. "All right, who's got the voice changer app? This is a little too much." But no one had anything like that. The whisper echoed again, more insistent. "One of you must stay." My chest tightened. Sophie was crying now, begging for us to go back, but the door wouldn't budge. Just then, the lights went out completely, and we were left in pitch-black darkness. I could hear my friend's panic breathing, and then something else. A scraping, slithering noise moving along the walls, circling us. A flash of light appeared suddenly, like a match being struck, and illuminated the face of an old woman. Her skin was pale and sunken, eyes wide and black, mouth stretched into a grin far too wide for her face. She held the match up, its flame flickering, casting shadows that made her seem even more twisted. "One of you," she hissed, pointing a crooked finger at us, "will stay behind." Jake stepped forward, forcing a laugh. Listen, lady, this is really funny and all, but we're leaving now. She didn't blink, didn't move, just kept that finger pointed at him. And then, to our horror, he froze. He tried to move, but his feet were stuck to the floor. The more he struggled, the more his face twisted in pain. It was as if invisible hands were holding him in place. Run, he screamed at us, his voice strangled with terror. But it was like our legs were rooted to the spot too. The old woman cackled, and the flickering light revealed the walls were now covered in names, hundreds of them, carved deep into the wood. I recognized one, a kid who had disappeared from our town years ago on Halloween. And below his name, another one, newly carved. Jake's name. He was crying now, whispering, "Please, don't leave me." But his face was fading, turning pale and hollow-eyed, just like the faces in the paintings we'd seen. In moments, Jake was gone, and his face now stared out from a new painting on the wall, mouth open in a silent scream. The old woman turned her black eyes toward us. "Go," she whispered. The door unlocked with a loud click. We didn't think, we just ran, stumbling over each other in a mad dash to get out. I looked back just once and saw Jake's face watching us, eyes pleading, trapped in that painting forever. We burst out into the night, gasping for air. The house was dark again, the eerie glow gone, as if nothing had happened. But Jake, he was gone, his scream still echoing in my head. No one believed us, of course, when we told them what happened. But I know what I saw. And every Halloween, when the air turns cold, I swear I hear his voice whispering, begging us to come back, to save him from that twisted house at the end of Willow Lane. But we never do.